All right, here's your condensed, yet fully cinematic, professional YouTube voiceover script. 1,250 words told in the true American style, smooth, lived in, a little raw, and totally addictive. It grabs with a bold hook, dives into chaos, pivots with a twist, and leaves your audience fired up and talking. You ever have one of those moments when you realize your peaceful suburban life is about to turn into a reality show, except you're the main character and you never signed up? Because I gotta tell you, nothing. In my 2 tours overseas, nothing. I saw a hustling BBQ out of a busted food truck prepared me for the sheer madness of what went down the day my HOA president tried to steal my Tesla right out of my own driveway while screaming to the cops that I was the thief. Yeah, you heard me. That happened. Let me back up a sec just so you know where I'm coming from. Name's Jake Morrison, lost a leg in Afghanistan, came home, built up tank smokehouse from a $5,000 VA loan, and a dream fought through more red tape than most people see in a lifetime, and finally landed in Riverside Hills, this cookie cutter HOA paradise where lawns are perfect. The air smells like overpriced mulch and people act like it's 1955, unless you look like you don't belong. I bought that Tesla cash, every dollar honest, every mile earned, and I figured after all I'd sacrificed, I finally deserved to breathe a little easy. But in comes Brenda Hamilton, or as the whole block calls her, Bry. If you've never met an HOA president who thinks the sun rises and sets by her bylaws, count yourself lucky. First week, I'm unloading some smokers for a charity BBQ. She marches up, makeup set like armor eyes, locked on my car, and hits me with beautiful Tesla. Must have taken quite a loan, huh? In your line of work, you know that tone like she's asking if you moonlight as the town garbage collector. I kept it cool. Actually, I paid cash. Business has been good, and you could see it land right there in her painted-on smile. For folks like Bree, someone like me isn't supposed to win at anything. It didn't stop at side-eye and catty comments. I'd catch her peeking through her curtains phone to her ear, probably giving the city a play-by-play of my every move. But hey, I'd fought real battles. How bad could a Karen with a clipboard be? Turns out she had history. Only later did I learn the guy, 2 doors down, retired. Marine left town after she cooked up fake violations and made his life hell. But I was still clueless, figured if I kept my head down, worked hard, people would see me for who I really was. Then came the BBQ. Neighbors showed up in droves, laughing, eating, and for a second I felt like I'd found a real community. Bree showed up fashionably late, scanning the crowd loud enough for everyone to hear, "Wow, so generous. Must be nice having taxpayer dollars at your back." She wanted to cut me down in front of everyone, and I'll be honest, it stung. Carmen Davis, third-grade teacher and the neighborhood's actual angel, jumped in Bree. He earned every bit of this. Bree just sneered, mumbled about charity cases, and you could feel the tension spike. I swallowed my pride, but you know what? That stuff sticks to your ribs. Next thing I know, I get a $200 ticket on my windshield commercial vehicle in residential zone. Total nonsense. At the board meeting, Bri made a whole show of just clarifying the rules, shuffling my papers, like she was the Queen of England, hinting I should maybe park elsewhere. No one on the board wanted to call her out, typical HOA, more about power than fairness. And then, bang, I find a fresh scratch right down the side of my Tesla, deep enough you could see the metal. Petty but personal. That was her warning shot. Couple days later, Bri corners me in the driveway, folder in hand, tells me she got an anonymous tip that my car was bought with veteran funds, but registered personal could be federal fraud. She says, eyes cold. She flips open these fake official documents, waves them in my face, and says she can help me avoid prison if I just sign over the Tesla and lease it back. I almost laughed, but I could see she was dead serious. I don't lease what I paid for in blood, I told her, and for a second she dropped the act. And you could see just how much she hated me. Here's where it gets real twisted. Bree files a complaint with the VA, says I'm faking. My disability sends them photos of me hauling BBQ gear, claims my business is built on a lie. Next thing I know, 3 big catering gigs cancel on me. Folks cross the street to avoid eye contact. I sat in my kitchen medals on the wall, doubting everything. Maybe I was a fraud. Maybe this was all I deserved. But life throws curveballs, good and bad. Bry's own son, Tyler, quiet kid, used to work for me. Shows up at my door pale as a ghost. Mr. Morrison, my mom's got files on every vet in the neighborhood. She did the same to Mr. Peterson. She calls it cleaning up the community. That snapped me out of it. I realized this wasn't just about me. She'd made it her mission to destroy anyone who reminded her of what she couldn't have. I got smart. Called my old buddy Tony, now a cop, one of those guys who looks like he sleeps in his badge. We documented everything, Bree's fake docs, Tyler's screenshots, even a spreadsheet with vulnerability ratings for every vet nearby. We set the bait, left my Tesla in the driveway, cameras rolling Tyler just happening to walk his dog. Sure enough, Bree comes strutting over toolkit in hand, tries to get a locksmith to break in, waving her forged ownership papers. The locksmith's face goes pale when Tyler flashes his phone. He steps back, says, "No way, ma'am." That's when Tony and I come out, badges showing. "Everything okay, Bree?" Tony says, voice casual but sharp as a razor. Bree tries to scream, "I'm stealing her car," waves her documents like they're holy writ. But Tyler, man. The kid comes through, pulls up the files, starts reading out loud, neighbors gathering phones, filming. Bree melts down, screeching about ungrateful veterans and entitled charity cases. Tony cuffs her right there, reading her the list: attempted theft, fraud, harassment. The crowd actually cheers someone, even pops a can of soda. You know what I mean? That's justice. A few months later, I see Bree bagging groceries, shoulders hunched, no fancy jewelry, just a tired, broken look. She mutters, "I'm sorry, I lost myself. You didn't deserve any of it." I don't know if I forgave her, but I felt lighter. The HOA Carmen ran for president and won in a landslide. First thing she did was ban harassment and start up a Veterans Appreciation Day. Tyler found his voice, started working at Tank Smokehouse, and the neighbors, folks, finally saw past the surface, started looking out for each other. Business boomed. But more than that, the neighborhood became something real, a place where people stood up, where nobody let the bullies win. I still park that Tesla front and center license plate frame reading "earned, not given," just so folks know. And that scratch, I got it fixed, but I kept the bill taped inside the glove box, a reminder that some things are worth fighting for. So let me throw it to you. Have you ever watched someone try to tear down a neighbor just because they couldn't stand to see them happy? What would you have done if you were me? Do you think folks like Bree deserve a second chance, or did she get what she earned? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me what justice looks like to you. And don't forget to show a little love to the veterans and small business folks in your community. Sometimes that's all it takes to change everything.